this is how you create a player and add them to your Road to the Show, franchise, and March to October rosters. The first thing you want to do is go to the top right, go to create, press roster control, create the player you want to create. I'm gonna make a center fielder, and then you want to upgrade his attributes. Make sure you do everything you want to do, like the equipment you want to do, the attributes you want to add to him, everything. Make sure you do that here. That way you don't have to go back into your franchise and edit him there, or go back to your March to October. Because no, in March to October you can't edit anything. In Road to the Show you can't edit anything either. So you want to do it all right here. Okay, so once you're done creating the player, what you want to do is press finish, add him to the free agent pool, and export him. When you export the player, it's going to have its own save file for that one player. Once you have that done, you can save the rosters. If you save the rosters that you just edited right now, and you go into a franchise with these rosters, the player would be in a free agent pool. But if you want to add the player already into the roster without him being in a free agent pool, you want him to start out on the team, what you do is go to the roster control, go into, let's say, the Mets, go into manage roster slash import player so you can import him. And now a key thing is the way you import a player is you have to substitute him for someone else. And you have to do that by the position. Not by the position, by either pitcher or position player. So if you make a starting pitcher, a closer, or a reliever, you have to substitute him either for a starter pitcher, a closer, or a reliever. If you make a position player, you have to substitute him with a position player. You cannot make a center fielder and substitute a pitcher for him, because it's gonna unbalance the roster. So I made a center fielder, so I'm gonna go to center field. I'm gonna take out the worst player here. You want to take out the worst player. I'm gonna actually take out the worst possible position player, which is this guy, Joe Suozi. I'm gonna take him out. So what I'm gonna do is press X, export position player. No, import position player. So you can import your player. You're going to go to the save file that you just created. And now if you go to center field, you're going to see that we have the guy we created, which is Joe Random, 72 overall, 8 potential. So now after you do that, now you want to make sure that you save the rosters. Because if you don't save the rosters, the player, he's not going to be in this roster. He's just going to be in your save file under your created players. So you exit out. Make sure that there's no X's, because if there are X's, that means that something is wrong with the lineup, roster, or rotation. Once you're done with that, you want to save the roster, save custom roster, give it any name you want. So once you have it saved, let's say you want to go into Road to the Show, March to October, or franchise, whichever. You choose it, start a new one, load the roster. You want to load the roster that you just edited, where the player is on the Mets or whatever team you put him on. So I'm going to pick the Mets just to show you guys that it works. Let's go to spring training. It doesn't really matter. So now if we go here to center field, we have Joe Random, 72 over 8 potential. But you did sacrifice that player who was on the Mets, or who was on that team that you took off. So I don't know if they go to the free agent pool or they just go into the abyss. I don't really know what happens to them, but that's how you do it. That's how you add a player. You can also do it with players in the vault. Let's say you go to the vault and you download a player from the vault. You can also add that player there. The way you do that is you just download the player from the vault. You have a save file from the vault, and then you go into create. Then you go into the roster changes, and then you import the player for the person you want to export. And you could do the same thing in Road to the Show, franchise, March to October. It doesn't matter. But you have to make sure that you do it before you start the save file. Because if you have a save file already and you're trying to add him after, it's not going to work because the save file is already created. So yeah, guys, that's how you do that.